Welcome to the Sistah Girls Book Club exclusive interview with the incomparable Takerra Allen.
Thank
We are
you.
here to discuss Parachutes 3, P3. Thank you.
E3. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Smiling, I'm about to cry. Like, it's just so many emotions. It's actually insane. Like, it's outrageous. It's truly outrageous.
It's outrageous.
Outrageous. So first and foremost, let me just start. Bravo. Well done and congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you
Thank
feel?
you.
How do you feel? And thank you for sharing this remarkable moment in your career with us. How do
Of
you
course.
feel now that P3 has been out in the world for about a week, a little over a week now?
Hmm.
One of the most anticipated releases of 2025. How do you
That's so.
feel? For
Um,
most,
I feel good, man. I feel it's still a little surreal. I think because I know like how much went into this novel. I don't know if it was just the mania of everything I have going on. But it was very taxing. It was a lot, and probably for the first time in a long time, I really thought a lot about how it would be received, mostly because of how much the readers um, felt so passionate about it and how much they love this series. I don't think I expected this series to get that much fandom.
that
So
was my next question. Like when you started
yeah.
with this idea, this initial storyline, the ideas, were you expecting this kind of impact?
Not at all. Not at all. I actually seriously thought I had been gone for a few years. I came back with Noor. And Noor was like, to me, I really wanted to do Noor, but it was received mixed, right? People weren't expecting that kind of book from me. So I kind of wanted to go back to something a little simpler and like more my roots, and so I actually expected Parachutes to just kind of be like a cleanse of Noor, and kind of showing like I can still do what I used to do, but I just wanted to do something different. But I thought it would be a little bit more fun than it turned out to be. I just was like, oh, this is, I'm gonna do another Urban Love. And
A
and then it
lot
just, yeah,
more
it
than
just
fun.
yeah, it went. And
It was some
yeah,
fun times. We had some fun times.
we had some fun times,
We
right?
had some fun times.
But no, I did not expect. I didn't expect myself to fall in love
Okay.
with the characters the way I did. Like I kind of just thought they were just not. I
Well,
love all my characters, but I didn't think that I would get so attached to them.
I
Yeah,
purposely kept a lot of my thoughts to myself during
you
P3.
did. You
I
did.
was like, I was like, Takara's gonna be like, "What? Where are you? What is going on?" Like,
It's
I think I,
okay.
I
I
think I
figured
texted
you
you.
were busy getting ready for the event. I said, "Oh, she must be busy."
I think I only text you one time.
You
Where
did.
you, where usually I'm like, no, I actually wanted to save all of my thoughts for this moment. I didn't want you to have any type of thinking of
Any
what
inclination of what you thought?
what I thought of how I felt. So I only sent you like that one text message, and even then, you didn't know what that was about. You just were like, "What is
Why?
going?
Why are you crying?
Why are you crying? Why are you crying?" And I was like, "I can't tell you." It was like I can't even
Yes.
tell you. Like, why are you crying? There's nothing in this book to cry about. There was plenty to cry about. Plenty to cry about.
Was
Just
it?
just because no one died, it didn't mean it was nothing to cry about. Oh, because you're like, what is going on? Why is everyone crying?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
didn't
not
understand.
did you
Yeah.
not read the book? Were
I
you not
didn't.
there? Did you drop us off there and you just like were you not there? Because we were there.
I mean, I knew it was emotional, right? I knew some parts were emotional, but I feel like it was more healing in this book than
People were in
Pink.
the hospital every 60 pages. Like, why is everybody in the hospital?
We were in the hospital. Yeah,
We
we
were in
were.
the hospital. We in the emotional hospital a lot. Like, why are we in the
Yeah.
hospital? We are in the emergency room every 3 chapters. Why?
You might be right. Yeah.
I came with notes, okay? I came with notes. We started in the hospital. Like, first of all, we started in the hospital.
We did.
Okay. All right. Okay.
We
So,
did.
I think the crying and the high emotions were warranted. Like you
Okay.
like you said, these characters became family. Like this truly
They did.
became like a family affair where it was like the golden couple, the truth came out about the golden couple, and everybody was like, because
Mm-hmm.
this was the couple people would least expect to have issues.
Yes.
So yeah, so at the cookout, not the cookout in the book, but like at the family cookout, and this is
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, where people are gonna have things to say.
True.
So
Yeah.
that's how I looked at it. Like
Yeah.
this is our cousin. This is the one healthy relationship we've seen. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
No,
Right.
no, not
Right.
that.
Whispering like, "Oh my God." Yeah. Vin's got a new baby, another baby. Like, yeah, that's something. Yeah,
That's something. I think
it
we
is.
gotta. Yeah. So, and we said these. And one thing about your artistry is you take your time with it. So, for those who did choose to indulge in the first 2 books prior to P3 coming out, we got to sit with this for a while
Yeah.
with the question marks, with the how do we feel. So I think people, I think their feelings were deeply involved because it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to,
Yeah.
first of
Yeah.
all, it's 2,000 pages. Like, if you put all 3 books together, like, it's a lot of, like, this is a lot of material. And the
Yeah.
crazy part is you could have kept going and people would not have been like, it's parts that are left out. People are like, wait, we would like more.
And that's the thing. I feel real bad because a lot of people are like, I wanted more of this and I wanted more of that. And I'm like, I tried, but there are
900
a
pages.
lot of, there's a lot to cover in a span of 15 years with this couple, so I just had to do what was most important. But
So,
yeah.
so 3 books, and you warned us very early on that you already knew when you started the series the way the series was going to end.
Right.
At any point, did you feel like you needed to? Did you feel pressure to re-navigate? Did you feel pressure to stray away from that? Did you feel like you needed to rethink any maybe even not where the parachute may impact, but how we got to that part?
Yes, absolutely. Because I'm human, right? So I'm getting the reactions from people, and I knew what to expect. I knew that people were going to feel like this is an absolute no. This is an absolute unforgivable thing, right? So I kind of knew that. But when it was so passionate of I didn't expect people to kind of look at like Tali as this warrior kind of character that they've been waiting for. This strong woman character.
Xena, not Xena, because
And you're
because
right,
she
no, but for real. And then I felt like the almost like, okay, so you've delivered this character that has these morals and values and very strong, and she has to stay true to what she is. How are we gonna get to what I know it has to be? I knew I wasn't gonna change it, but I just knew I had to navigate it in a way that was true to her, which was um literally fighting herself
yeah.
to get to that point where she chooses her happiness, but it also she almost had to like disintegrate everything about who she thought she was and kind of rebuild herself.
So
This
the path looked a little bit different, but
Yes,
the end goal, the end marker, it
was
was
always
always
going to be.
going to be them. It
It was
was
always
always
going to be. And I feel like if people go back and read the beginning, you'll see that. Even from the promotion from the beginning, it was about a story about redemption. You read between the lines, the poem at the beginning, it's a full
I mean,
circle.
I knew Tally and them were always going to be in game. I didn't think I, as a reader, thought it was going to take a little bit longer for
Mm-hmm.
her to come around. And I
Right.
know people are like, well, it took long enough, but I think it was a year, 2 years. I think it ended up
Two
being what, two
years.
years? Two
2 years.
years.
Hmm.
I thought that me personally, I thought it was going to take a little bit longer. That
Like
that was
time
to
jump,
me
like 5 years, 10 years with her. Yeah.
possible. I
Yeah.
knew that, and I knew that they were going to be back together just based off of no, like I know people think I have a lot of smoke for Tally, but I have said this to you. I have said this on these interviews. I am more of a Tally kind of person. I'm not even gonna say girl,
Right.
woman. I am a Tally kind of person. There are just some things you don't do. So I really understand Tally. So I thought it was going to take her a little bit longer to do the work that she needed to do
Hmm.
to come to
Hmm.
this conclusion.
Yes, I agree with that. And you know what? I think it still is.
And
I
I'm sure
think
people are like, when people are watching, they're like, Tyler didn't need to do any work. Tyler didn't need to do any
no,
work.
she
And it's
did.
like,
I hope that it's very clear at the end that she needed to do the work. Um, I hope it's clear that they're not finished. I didn't want this fairy tale feeling at the end of they're all healed and better and now happily ever after. I hope that is very clear that they still have work to do, that there's still going to be, moments of, some memory comes back of this date that you lied to me about this, or, DJ's going to say something, or, there's going to be these moments, and she's still going to have her trust issues, and he's still going to have his, um, adapting to being more open and honest. So they have work to do. I think they just chose to do it together going forward. I hope that
I
that's clear.
actually liked that the book didn't end with them remarried.
I thought it was a little, you know what? I played with it a
That
little
was
bit,
different.
but it was so expected. I almost feel like that was as expected as them not being together. I feel like people have started to
I
come to expect
actually,
me to be, so controversial and so like, oh, she's gonna hurt me. I don't do it intentionally, I
okay, you did
swear.
hurt us. Hold on now,
But
hold
I
on.
don't.
Hold- Now, now slow down, Savannah. Now slow down, Savannah. I didn't
I
say
don't.
we weren't hurt. What I said was, I, from my point of view as a reader,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that the book, because you just be jumping, you like a leapfrog, you just be jumping too many
Yeah.
ahead. Man, slow
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that they weren't married.
Thank you.
Um, and the reason why is because in my magical world where we're still in P3, where we're still in the world with them, they need to date again. They need to
Absolutely.
reestablish boundaries. They need to relearn each other as these adults who have been through trauma and
Right.
how to navigate it without blaming each other. But
Yep.
if we're going to be together, let's navigate this trauma where we're on a team and we're not pointing fingers. And I think being married is like made Tally feel like I have to make this work because I'm married. Whereas if they date for a year or two and she's like, you know what, then you were absolutely right. I cannot get over this.
Right.
It's different.
Right.
And I mean, that's not for us to decide, but I just think dating and being in love with somebody is different than marrying them. And it comes with, it's not a piece of paper like the internet likes to tell us. It's
Right.
more, it's definitely more than just the relationship.
Absolutely. I agree. I hope that too, towards the end when you start to see that he made that decision to let her go, right? And then you kind of start to see the beginning start again. They're on the phone talking, kind of like in book one. He's heating up his food like in book one. There's a lot of little things I tried to put it in to show that now they are absolutely restarting their relationship, kind of like what Larry wanted them to do, right? He was like, I want you guys to go away. I want you to be friends. I want you to reestablish
You
that
just jump from
friendship.
question two
I just
to
be jumping
question
your question. I'm
question
sorry.
10. But it's fine. We're going to go ahead and naturally segue into that part, and then we're going to come back because it's okay. So I have a
Oh,
little more time with you. So
woo-hoo.
Larry was the only new character in P3.
Yeah, because you saw Bianca and you saw Drew before, so yeah.
Yeah, no, he
Hmm.
was the only new character, new
Right, like
supporting
brand
character,
new.
like brand new,
Yeah,
fresh. But he played in a pivotal role in the growth and decision making that we see both in Vin and in Tally.
right,
And the end, where this is at post trip, after he suggests, go on a trip, try to be friends, try to see if you can get through something without arguing and without the anger. And
right,
then we come back and everything looks so beautiful. Like they're in this post vacation haze. The kids are got along the vacation. They got along. Then then did this extravagant thing again to really truly pull Tally back into the moment with him, keep Tally in the moment with him. But we don't see how Vin is working through this, which results in him allowing Tally to go. It was so Maxwell Pretty Wings.
yes, I can see that.
Like I hurt you, and
Uh-huh.
I've been so brute, like such a force in trying to make you see that that was not my intention, that I didn't give you the space to hurt.
Yes,
And I was
absolutely.
like,
Growth, right?
I
She
felt
grew
like a
all the way
bucket.
up.
I
Yeah.
felt like a bucket of cold water. Just was like, whoosh. I was like,
Well, that's what I wanted you to feel, you know? And if I would have gave you any indication that that was coming, then you wouldn't have felt
I was
as
like,
blindsided as Tali was.
I was like,
I know.
what just happened? Wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
You, what just happened? Why did this have to happen? Why can't we like some? I think we were like that was like at 70%. I was like, I know something else was happening because we had this much of the book left, but that was not
Right.
it.
Right.
What
Yeah.
happened?
And you know what, too? I will admit that I was seeing so much like, oh, Vin's gonna grovel and I hope Tali doesn't take him back and I hope she doesn't forgive him. And all I was thinking in the back of my mind is, or what if he's the one that walks away? And nobody thought that. I was very surprised leading up to part 3 that nobody said to me, like, what if Vin's the one that decides to let it
Because
go?
he was so invested,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually brings me to another one of my questions as to why he was so invested. And I think in P3, we finally understand why Ben is so, or at least I understood why he was so invested, because I actually wanted him to walk away. You know that. I mean, we had a private conversation where I was like,
Yes.
at some point he gonna have to walk away from this girl because she is toxic and she doesn't want to grow. And I understand why somebody could look at this and say, well, he's wrong. And it's like, he is wrong, but she's also wrong. And we cannot discuss him being wrong without looking at her wrongness. And I'm not saying that he two wrongs equal right. Like
Right.
neither one of these people were right in their behaviors or how
Right.
they handled this situation.
Right.
He allowed his ego to lead, and it led him to do something very, very what people feel is unforgivable. But he did not do that. I know intention doesn't matter.
Right.
He did not set out with the intention to do this thing.
But I do think, and I think that that's the conversation that I wanted to create. Who has decided that intention doesn't matter? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we've created a world much like the judicial system. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is right, this is wrong, go to jail, guilty, not guilty. I don't think that that is human. I think intention absolutely matters, but we don't leave room for it.
We don't leave because I think people have been so scorned
Mhm.
by other people.
Yeah.
One of the themes that was discussed in the book is what part of childhood plays in our behaviors. That was
Right.
a theme through and through that we saw play out. What part of our childhood, and I think people are so hurt that they come into relationships hurt,
Yeah.
and now I tolerated people who had to be in my life hurting me. So if you're going to be in my life, there is no room for you to hurt me because I
Right.
don't have to deal with you. I had to deal with my dad. I had to deal with my mom. I had to deal with my family. I don't have to deal with you. Dealing with you is a choice. And if you take that choice and you use it to hurt me, I don't
Right.
have to excommunicado. We're done.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that was something that they both were dealing with, but especially Tally's mentality when it came to her mother, right? I couldn't
Right.
control I couldn't control how she hurt me, but I can control how anybody else does, right?
Right. and
Yeah.
that's and that's the scale she used. And I think, like going back to Larry and the sessions, he was the for every I don't want to say scared. I hate the word scared, but my words are failing me. But he was the only person
I
because
understand where you're going.
he didn't have any stake in a relationship with Tally.
He
So he
wasn't
was
afraid to hurt her feelings.
and
Yeah.
that's why Ben had to leave. That's
Yeah.
why Ben had to leave the session because he knew that Larry was going to hurt her feelings.
Mhm.
And he couldn't stand to see I already hurt her feelings, and now I'm putting her in a position where her feelings have to be hurt to understand her role and what that she played in the mess that we're making of our lives.
Right. I agree.
And when he held that up to her was the moment that it was a gut punch for her, because it was the moment where she was like, when he specifically said, so is there room for anything else but perfection?
Mhm.
No, we were the perfect couple. Before this happened, you would say that your relationship was perfect. And
Right.
when she said yes, it left no room for the accountability of no, it wasn't. And it
Right.
wasn't because of all of these other things, not even talking about the stuff that happened in the past pre-marriage, but
Right.
the nastiness in you, how you treat this man, how you talk to this man. As much as you built him up, you also were the only person who had the power to tear him down, and you did it at, I'm not going to say every chance, but you did it enough to where his actions were a recourse for your words, where it was like, she already thinks this of me anyway, I might as well be this person.
Right. And it's no excuse for what he
It's no,
did.
I'm not saying
Right.
it was an excuse, but I
But
noticed the
that
same thing happened. It
right.
happened again in this book. It
Right.
happened again in this book.
Yes.
When
Yes.
they're outside the school after the situation
Mhm.
with Dolly, and
Mhm.
Dolly already knowing that he's in a very vulnerable place because of whatever's going on with Dolly, and this is the time that you choose to pour salt into an open wound. My
Yeah.
fiance, my fiance, my fiance, this, you have to get over it. You have to let me go. Da 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 da. He said, bet. And that's when things really started with Bianca.
Mhm.
Because that's when he goes to Bianca. And it's like, dang. So this is still the same situation happening over again. Now, granted, much like Sophie, Bianca knew she was never measuring up to Tally.
Right.
She knew there was no space in this man's life.
Right.
So,
But so I want to say about Bianca, right? Um Not saying that I would make the same decision, right? But let's say you're a divorced woman and or a widow. Well, sorry. And you have a older child, he's away at college, you're alone, you're lonely, right? And we know how the world is right now with the dating
they,
pool.
well,
Right?
you, well, you don't know, but I
I
do.
don't know, but you know what? I have sister and friends that I'm just like, I'll be like, damn, I'm sorry. Like I really am
And
sorry.
it is that
Um
bad.
so it's like you come across a Vin, okay, yeah, we're not gonna end up being married again, but maybe I don't even want to be married again. Maybe I just want to go with a guy that's gonna take me out, not argue about splitting the bill. That's gonna take me on vacation, that's going to be good looking and
Some
listen to when I talk.
I
And
think, listen, some things are for the experience. Some listen,
right, right,
some things we do it for the plot. I just think I think this in my real life, and I think this for Bianca. It's just a dangerous game to play
It
because
is a
sometimes,
dangerous game to play because
because
as you can see, once she got a shot of
because
that, she starts
sometimes
swirling around the
you do
room, and yeah,
you do it. This is why I tell my friends, you're doing it for the plot until the plot thickens.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that part. You gotta
You
know
doing
what you're
it
doing. You gotta be strong. Yeah.
for a lot of people are not strong willed enough to do it for
No,
the plot. You're doing it for the plot until the plot thickens, and
very
now
true.
your ass is stuck in the plot. You're
That's
stuck
true.
in.
Very
So
true.
I mean, that's what I'll say about that situation. I wasn't mad at Bianca because baby, if I meet up, I'm gonna do it for the plot as well.
But I know what you mean. Yeah,
But
yeah.
but he used Bianca in that same way. I'm not focused on Bianca. That's Bianca's business. I'm focused
Hmm.
on that.
Very true.
Um,
And he acknowledged that, right? He's like, I still got some work to do because the minute you hurt me, by coming over and initiating this sexual relationship again with me and then going back to him, it I went and I had sex with Bianca, right? And that was something that he was holding off. He wasn't even really
he
interested in.
was
So it's
attracted.
like,
So why it's
yeah.
so many parallels in just completed cycles, But one of the things I did want to talk about that was truly brought to the forefront that I mentioned earlier was Ben's loneliness. Ben's loneliness was so palpable in this book because, and not just because of Lola, but I guess I never even, and not because Munch was in jail. It was like, this is a lonely person. This man is lonely.
Oh, I was dying for that to come across.
Munch, while yes was Vin's friend, they were two different kind of men where Munch can only be Vin could be Munch's friend in totality, but
Hmm.
Munch could not be serve that same purpose in Vin's
Right,
life.
right, right.
And so it was like it broke my heart and it made me realize why he wanted to fight for his family so bad and why he was like that was truly his anchor. And it wasn't Tali always made it about him being a dad. And it wasn't just about him being a dad. This was truly all he had.
Yes,
Tally
absolutely.
had her friends, her family, her extended family. She had that support. She had that love. She had that. If he goes, you're gonna make it. Even though she wasn't trying to hear that, and we saw that firsthand. If he goes, she was trying to go, which that's when
Hmm.
I knew for sure. Tally girl, you playing yourself because
Hmm.
the way you acted, the way you behaved
Hmm.
with your children present,
Hmm.
you, I wanted to shake, girl, your children are here. Get it together.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about because that
No.
behavior that let me. I seen all I needed to see. This lady is not letting this man go. And if he try, this lady will be married with two other kids. I mean, she can't have kids. They could have adopted or something. But this is the lady's gonna be. She's still gonna make your life hell. She was
Hmm.
never letting you go, babe.
Yeah.
Never. You're gonna be in that house of demons for a long time. She was never letting you go. She showed her hotel out
Yeah.
there outside of that house, and it wasn't about the house.
Mm-mm. No, no, it
But
wasn't.
that yes, I said not mispoised and proper out here falling out like this.
Hmm. No, all of it went out the window, right? Like,
He
yeah.
said, "Where's my husband?" Man, you divorced that man about a year ago. You were engaged to a whole nother man. This
Hmm.
lady out, where's my husband? It's not your husband, man. That is not your husband, man. I do apologize. You are not the decision maker any longer here. I'm not
Oh,
sure who is, and that's the point. And that brings me back to Ben being lonely. Who's the decision maker? He don't have
yeah,
his wife anymore. He has no. Who is his emergency contact?
I know. I know.
I think
I'm,
that's what made me think about it. Who would be his emergency contact now?
yeah. But honestly, probably still her. He probably still had her down.
But
I wanted to
why
show
didn't
that
nobody
though.
think about that?
I'm so glad you brought that up, and I'm so glad that that came across because there are these little tiny opportunities, right? There's only but so much I could squeeze into this book, but I'm like, I need to just fill these little spaces to show that loneliness, right? To just show, like, when he goes home, that's it. It's just a quiet house. There's not his wife. There's not his children. There's no food. There's no laughter. There's no watching a movie. There, like he's just getting on a plane, and also piggybacking on that, and adapting to being a single dad, coming from being in a marriage with a woman who, like many men, especially I know, like many successful men that work a lot, the mother does a lot of the,
Heavy lifting in the house.
right, when it comes to the children and the family. So he's navigating that as well. Um, it was a huge transition for him.
Yeah, my heart broke at that realization of like he really has nobody. Like this is truly a person in the world alone. And
Right,
it's like, yes, he has his children, but he doesn't have the camaraderie. He doesn't have the support. He's truly navigating life alone.
right,
Like because even with the parenting, it was Tally's way. Like because
right,
he knew that she came from this loving home, and he was like, I'm going to take cues from her as to how we navigate this. It's not to say he didn't put his foot down and he didn't love his children,
right,
but he didn't want a repeat of his parenting or
right,
what happened with. So he was like, even with Vanessa not being Tally's biological mother, he said it so many times, but she came from this home, not a house,
right,
home that was warm, and they had these family get-togethers, and he's like, I never had that. So
right.
I'm gonna let her take lead, and I'm gonna follow it until she getting a little too crazy, and then I have to pull it back in. But it was like that hurt me bad. Like I don't
Yeah.
know why in this book it just came like
No,
a
I wanted that to come across. I'm really glad. Like, even the moment, when Lola dies and she goes to the house, I don't know if people really paid attention to it, but his anger at Tali is a blend of all of that, right? And she's
right because
talking
you
to
left
him
me
and she's
out
trying
because
to
you
be
knew
there.
this. You
Right. He's
knew
like,
this.
fuck you. Like, you left me here. Like, I'm in this house alone. Now I don't have my mother. I don't have, like, fuck you. Who are you to come over here and try to check up on me? Like,
Yeah.
and not saying that she didn't have a right to be gone, but that was his
But
anger in that moment.
but you knew the kind of guy you were getting. It's not this again, it's not to say what he did was wrong, but you knew that it reminds me of two things that the anger reminds me of when I was reading this, and I was two scenes. One in Grey's Anatomy, when Catherine Heigl, when Demi is dying, and she said, he's like, I had the DNR, and it's like, but why did you make me love you if you knew leaving me was going to, like, you were okay. If you left,
Mm-hmm.
you would be okay. And I think, like, again, Tali, she was hurt, but look at how Jonathan showed up for her on like Divorce Day. Look at how her friends, Abby, as soon as she needed her, moved back to the East Coast. Like her friends were like, you know what? We don't agree with your decision. I like that they were very honest about that as well. And none
Right.
of them agree. Like we mad at them. But girl, what is you doing? You
You
leaving your
jumped the gun. Right. Right.
I like that she
Um,
friends were, but she had
she
them.
had a system. She had her sister, right? She
She
had
had
her
Nessa.
father.
She had her
Yeah.
father. She had. It's like she she had them
Mm-hmm.
to pick up the kids to when she was falling apart, to do all of the things. And it's like you made this person love you, pulled him into this, and then you were like, you're wrong. And the second movie specifically, it reminded me of in Sex in the City when Steve cheats and they go to couples counseling, and Steve says to her, yeah, I cheated, but what about the vows you didn't keep? What about the vows you didn't keep? Because the way
Mm-hmm.
you treated me after that, you
Mm-hmm.
didn't keep any of your vows either. So you're just as bad as me. And it
Mm-hmm.
was like, we don't think about that part. So because I didn't keep my vows, that means everything goes out the window.
Right. Right.
And I think that people, again, which is why I said I'm glad that the book didn't end with them remarried, because I look at marriage completely different. Like, and I think that they do too. Like,
Right.
was supposed to be forever, and forever don't last forever no more.
Right.
Forever don't last forever no more. And I mean,
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, though, right? And I think that I hope that I opened the door for that conversation. Being
Well,
married myself, I've been married. Look, I'm bad at this. Like, I don't even I don't pay attention to anniversaries. I'm fucking terrible at it.
I
But
love having a
I've been with my
a
husband for 20 years.
journey is.
Right, journey is 12. Perfect. I've been married for 13 years. So- but right,
But
you're
y'all been together for 20 years.
yeah, yeah. And that's and that took 7 years to even decide to get married because we both had like weird views about it. Like just like what's the point? And then later we were like, all right, whatever. But that's a whole nother
But
conversation.
you,
Um,
you still here and I'm still here. So you know
right.
what?
Let's just have a big party, right? Yeah. But what it takes, right, to last, because as a person the different stages of your life you go through. Right, I was just signing books downstairs for buying the pen, and I opened up Thicker Than Water 3, and I was like, oh, cringe at something I read. Who wrote this? Right, you change, you grow, you change. To have two people growing and changing and trying to still stay in love with that person and get through things with that person, and you are at times completely different than when that person met you, or if you're changing at different times, or you're still this person and they're already evolved, and so it is very I don't want to say difficult, but it is something that if you make that decision, I do feel like you have to commit to that, right?
I don't think it's taken as serious anymore. But I don't
Yeah.
think anything is taken as serious as more any. I don't think a lot of things are taken as serious anymore.
No.
And this made me think, like, reading not just this, but it's a lot going on in the world that made me think about sex. A lot of people have sex to just have sex, right?
Right.
And it's no,
Connection.
not even that.
Mm.
It's no thought about the consequences of what can come from that sex until the consequences are in your face, whether that
That's
be a
true.
pregnancy, a STI,
Yeah.
because you're in the moment.
All the
But when
yucky stuff.
all the yucky stuff, all the yucky stuff, because it was the STD and STI outbreak, and a lot of it was like it was a big thing. Like there have been nurses on social media platforms
Oh God.
encouraging people to go get tested, no matter if you're in a committed relationship, marriage, or just single, because there was a STI outbreak in specific.
Cha!
And it makes me think about how serious people take something like this, right? Having a baby outside of your relationship,
Yeah.
but how unserious people take sex.
No, that's facts. That's true. That's
Sex is
true.
just sex until you're dealing with the consequences and repercussions of what happened after the sex.
Right. I agree.
And it's like, no, but we should always be thinking about sex in this way,
Yes.
about what could happen after the sex.
And
Because
I
at any
mean,
point, so many different things could happen.
I agree. I agree.
But
I don't get me started on sex. I'll go like a whole. But see, I agree with that part, right? But I also just agree too that for like people are just having bad sex. Like I don't understand what's happening to
people
world.
are having bad
Yeah,
sex
they're having like C- sex. Like they're not connecting. They're not looking in each other's eyes. They're not having
because,
conversations before. They're not like falling in love with each other's minds. They're not touching.
because
They're not.
it's a form of escapism. It's another drug. It's a hit.
Yeah.
It's a high. It's a I just need to feel something. But
Right.
when you look at the world we live in, everybody's running from something.
The reality? What are they running from? Yeah.
The reality.
Mm-hmm.
You're in this, like, we're going completely off skew, but this is just because I have experience in this. The world is in shambles because everything that was all the systems and all of the things that were put into place, the curtains have come down. It's all lies. It's nothing is working.
Yeah.
nothing is working the way we were taught it's supposed to work. So those things that were supposed to fulfill us, the jobs, the house, the marriages, it's not available.
Right.
So people are looking for these quick fixes of, I just need to feel something, without thinking about the repercussions or consequences of this something can ruin my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see it in the things that we joke about.
Oh yeah.
When you're addicted to shoes, or when you're addicted to food or something, at least it's not cocaine, at least it's not drugs, like at least it's not
Okay.
hard drugs. So think about that. Think about that. Because we're all looking for, and I'm guilty of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're guilty of wanting to feel something, and when we find something that moves us, and I just had this conversation with you on a flip side of something, that when it makes you feel something,
Right.
think about it. I need another book like this. I need another book just like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this book made me feel. Would you like to be a part of the conversation? You want to say hi to Takerra?
Hi, baby. Hi.
Remember I was on the phone
Oh,
with you when I
look
was
at
going to get him?
you.
Say
What
hello.
what kind of dog is he?
He's a French bulldog.
He is Louis from Parachutes.
He
He
is a
is
French.
Louis. Hi, baby.
Okay, bye. Thank
Oh,
you.
bye, baby. Good.
We're gonna have to edit that out. Okay, you okay?
No, no, it's the best. No, don't you edit him.
I was on the phone with you like the day before I went to go get him.
I
Um,
remember. Keep
so
him.
in Parachutes, the series, I
Mm-hmm.
would say you use two tools: a microscope and a mirror. The microscope for the reader to zone in and get a really good visual and idea of the smallest of details that made the relationship of Tali and Vin what it is, but a mirror to search deeper about the ideals we hold on a pedestal when making impossible decisions like the one Tali was forced to. Would you
Yeah.
agree? And what other tools would you say were utilized while writing the series?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I only hoped to achieve that. Um, I knew, like I said, going into it, that most people had their very strong opinions about it. Um, and I purposely held back from each book to reveal more and more, to purposely not shift that view, but just to make you question yourself and challenge yourself and think outside the box. It's very easy to say, no, this is, I would never forgive this because, I kept seeing the argument. He had no intention on telling her. She would never have known, and he was going to go the rest of their life. And I'm like, how do you know this? But I couldn't say it. I had to hold it back. So
Because
then,
we find out he absolutely had intention
right.
on
So,
telling her.
it's like as you start to get fed this information, now you start to, I hope, go out into the world after you close this book and take into account the what ifs when you make decisions. Or I'm not saying, forgive everybody for everything or completely change your values or do anything that makes you uncomfortable. That's what I never want anybody to do. I never want anybody to go against what I believe. We are powerful enough that you could trust yourself. You could trust your instincts. But also trust your instincts. If you feel something, don't go against it just because this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what kind of person this makes me if I do this. You know what I mean? So um definitely the mirror. Um I don't know what kind of tool. What other tool did I use? A knife?
Definitely got us. You definitely got us.
Like I like to, no, a scalpel. Like I like
No,
to.
you had it right the first time, sister. A fishing knife at that. Straight gut. Yeah, you had it right.
I
See,
like to.
I wasn't gonna mention it, but yes, indeed. I would like this to be a clip because I assure you, I can't wait for this to go live, I am putting it on the ticky top top.
Oh my god.
What other one did I use? A night? Yes, yes. This is not. Did this hurt? How it hurt when you killed my nephew or little cousin?
No, no, it
No,
doesn't hurt
no.
like that.
It
That's
didn't
why
hurt
I
like
said you shouldn't cry.
it
Like
didn't
that's
hurt
like
like.
what I compare
Okay,
it to.
hold on. It didn't hurt like that because I'm
No,
still working through certain levels of forgiveness, and you know this when it comes to nephew, because I just feel like there were other ways for us to come to some conclusions, but that's not what this is about. We will talk about that in a personal, because my heart be hurting when I be seeing seasons of fidelities floating around. Hurt real bad. But it did it did hurt. Like I said at the beginning, it was like, you shouldn't put other people's relationships on a pedestal, but it's hard not to,
right.
especially for those who we don't have access. And I think that's why so many dating shows are all the hype, right? You look at all these shows about dating, it's because we don't have access to that on in our day-to-day lives.
Mm,
So when you see it, think about Beyonce and Jay-Z ain't never asked to be anybody's relationship goals, okay?
no.
They ain't never came out and said, we want y'all to be as invested in our relationship as we are.
In fact, they tried to push the opposite, but that's how it goes.
But but people can't listen, we don't even know what goes on in their relationship.
Oh
There
no.
is always some type of speculation of who did what, said what. I mean, they told us a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but baby, those theories, it's some real wild theories out there. I try
Oh
like,
yeah.
so when you think about it like that, it's because we don't have relevance in our day-to-day lives. We don't see these relationships. We don't see love. Love is not palpable for a lot of people because they don't see it. You grow up with either parents who don't like each other or who were never together and tried to co-parent or couldn't co-parent. Like, it's just so many broken dynamics that we don't get to see. So that when you see something that
That's so sad.
it is sad. So when you see something that looks desirable in somebody you can see yourself in, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a lot of those. I act like that. That's how I behave. That's if she's lovable, that means I'm lovable.
Yeah. Yeah. I
If
agree.
she told somebody to deal with her and thought the world of her and put her on this pedestal, I can find somebody who could put me on a pedestal. But until I do, I'm gonna hold on to this as the inspiration.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're the parasocial relationship of it is like, I need to hold on to this because this is what I have as my blueprint.
Right. You
We
know
don't.
what? I'm so glad you said that. Big major part of why I write flawed characters, because I do not want the concept. I know there's a million books out there where, you are sticking around and waiting for that perfect guy. And he's going to say the right things. He's never going to cheat on you. He's never going to yell at you. He's never going to call you a bitch. He's, always going to tongue kiss you and look at you and tell you how beautiful you are. Like, but I am going to hopefully show people that you can be happy and find love with yourself being flawed and the other person being flawed, because if not, there's a possibility you would be like waiting forever if
But
you're waiting around for this like
but yeah, but
perfect
it's
perfect
also
person.
this new thing where you're not lovable until you're perfect. All this stuff,
That too, right?
all this self improvement. You're not lovable until you're perfect. But there's always work to do. So at what point do
Exactly.
do you become the lovable version, or do you become close enough to this version of yourself
Right.
that deserves love? Because that's the conversation I keep having with people. I think you should never stop working on yourself,
Right.
but you shouldn't entertain dating until you have reached. Okay, so what happens? You get the job, you get the apartment, you get the car, you get all of these things, and then you lose it all.
Yes.
Are you now back to being unlovable?
I think that I like to say new Tali, right? I think new Tali at the end really lands that. I think that that was the point of her saying to Vin, we don't have to stick around and wait until our work is done to come back together. I
Yeah.
want to be with you now and we work on ourselves, right? Because at what point do we decide that we are healed enough to be together again. Life is too short for that. I mean, if we want to be very honest, you don't
It
know
is.
what tomorrow brings. So you're gonna what like, and I've seen that
Well,
argument brought up. Oh, they should have waited until, but for what?
and
Like,
that's my
I think that once the realization is there that we know, right? Of course, I agree that there had to be a point where they both had to accept that they had work to do. Once we reach that point that we accept that and we know that we have to do the work, why can't we do it
do it
together?
with encouragement and and hand holding. And I'm
Right.
not gonna let you. But I think that's a hard concept because again, even in friendship, a lot of people don't have that.
Correct.
Even in parenthood, a lot of people don't have that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially when we look at it culturally, So I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
a lot of it goes into people have never truly experienced unconditional love. Um, even when like I look at from parents, your parent doesn't like a lot of parents don't unconditionally love their children. They would like to believe they do. They would love to believe that they do,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not in action. It's not in action. So if you meet somebody who does it in action, that
Right.
has to be a terrifying experience.
Right.
But I think people definitely look at these relationships and I like that's where the relation you well you one you see it all the time, couple goals and it's a complete stranger, right? Like people you've
Mm-hmm.
never couple
Mm-hmm.
goals,
Oh,
couple goals
absolutely. I
you
can't tell you that that is actually one of my peeves. I know it's natural, I know it's human, but I'll see, I don't know, this person's dating a new person and it's like, oh, I'm so glad she leveled up and couple goals now, and you don't know how that man treats her.
know
You don't know what's going on there. You know what I mean? But I think that everything is about the visual nowadays.
and, so,
Um,
and that's my point is that we have very little to anchor us.
yeah,
So what we do have, it becomes our everything. Don't mess this up.
yeah.
Don't mess this up. I'm invested in this. Now we invested. Not just you
Hmm.
in a personal relationship. The whole we are invested. Don't mess this up. And you see people try to hide it or try to, and then the cracks in the foundation start coming out. And oh, but what are people gonna think?
Look at Vin. Like, I feel like that is exactly what happened with Vin, right? There was always a cloud hanging over his head of like, I can't make another mistake.
It
And
was
once
more,
he made that mistake, it was like, I can't let her find out about this mistake.
and I
Like,
think even more so, it became more than one cloud because for Zen specifically, it was the I can't tell Tally cloud and I'm not being a good dad cloud,
yes, yes, yes.
which
And
he took
and
so
he was a man that wanted to be. I think people are really missing that part about with DJ. They're like, oh, he wasn't a good dad to yeah, he wasn't the dad he wanted to be, the DJ, and but he was a man that wanted to be a good father. That was at the core of him.
yeah.
um so that was absolutely another, you know cloud for him. Yeah, absolutely, another just
It was a lot.
failure.
It was
It
so
was a failure. It was two things that he was. And I think now at the end, he says it, now I can love you properly as this person now without this weight on my shoulders. You think about the last 12 years of their marriage, he's been walking around. I know it was at his own doing, but he's
that
been
too.
walking around with this weight, and every conversation they had, it's like he's holding his back and wearing this just pressure of not feeling worthy of anything that's happening around him.
And
So
now, not only is he working through that, but let's talk about Tally and her growth. I was like, Tally, that's a big word for Elmo. You babysitting?
oh yeah. I hope it came up very organic though. Her
It
and
did,
TJ.
but it was still shocking. I was still
Yeah.
very shocking. It went from
Yeah.
fuck that kid to that kid needs so much love.
Yeah.
It's like, Tally,
Um, I think that any woman though, not any woman, I take that back, but I think a lot of
you see
women,
my
right?
face? Hold on, these
um that have that, especially you already, you have that maternal instinct, and to come in contact with a kid so much like someone that you love, no matter how you feel about that person, right? You still love them, so this person is a part of the person you love. And
his
then you
trauma.
see what he's been through,
Yeah,
I
like
think that was a big thing.
that many life changes
Right.
so quickly, from being sexually assaulted to your mama
Right.
being a drug at like learning. I'm not sure. We don't get to see. We don't know how much of he loved his mom, but you kids love their parents
No matter what.
unconditionally, right?
Right.
Not necessarily, but he loved his mom. They had somewhat of a good relationship
Mhm.
based off of DJ's purview of things.
Right.
Um, so I I just can imagine like the experiences. He knew his dad, but he didn't know his dad.
Right.
He knew him as a person who shows up, but not
Right.
enough to be like, and at 12 is a hell of an age to have to go change your whole life around.
Right.
But Tally, I because this was pre her and then getting back together. So that was like, you know, whoa, like, okay. That was like, even if they don't get back together, to see her mature in that way
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh, this is not just Vin's child. This is my children's sibling. This is a innocent child who had
Yes.
to withstand some real life, some things he just should have never even had to have experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I thought that was just like, it was shocking. It was shocking, but in the best of ways. Like,
Right.
come on, Tally girl,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Tally Celine, make us proud. Even though I'm still saying, I'm sure some people still got the Issa meme from Insecure, the fuck
Oh
that
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but Lil Vin grew on us. Lil Vin grew on some of us. He grew on some of us. But talk about children, right? We saw the many ways Tally and Vin processed their separation and divorce, but the children, mainly Dolly, had a
Mhm.
real hard time with this. She really struggled. Can we discuss these experiences? And the children experience the same gamut of emotions that adults do,
Yes.
with a lot less mental clarity to process,
Mm-hmm.
to talk about it, the outlet. I really wish that Dolly would have got a therapist. I mean, I'm sure they probably end up getting her a therapist,
Hmm.
but it was just so many parallels and cycles in this book that was just like, Tolly even says at the end, "Are we fucking these kids up?" Yeah, girl. Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. But we could fix this. We could fix this. We could fix this. Tolly, now that you know. And I think more than her getting back, more than Larry helping her get back with Vin, she needed to confront those issues to stop what was happening with her children.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I agree. Um, okay, so I'm gonna give you an exclusive tidbit, right? I've not given this tidbit yet. Um, there is a scene, an entire scene that I wrote and then I tossed it of
Pull it back out. We can earn the pages. Pull it back out. We can earn the pages. Let's get it.
so it goes parallel to what you just said of Dolly actually getting pregnant by the kid that you meet on Christmas Eve. And it's very similar moment to Tolly and Vin going to
Is,
talk to Robert.
is this post California move? Like,
No, it was, yeah, no, it was pre. It
it was,
was it was more time in between moving to California. But I decided to nix it. But yeah, that was a thing. That was gonna be a thing.
it should have so been a thing. It so should have been a thing because it would have made them to confront
Right.
their, I don't want to say lack of parenting, but they had each other on such high pedestals that it needed it, like they needed some grounding. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they need, like, I'm not the person who, a person who feels sure of themselves that try to chomp you down the size, but some people need grounding,
Yeah.
and they were never going to do that for each other, real, because they thought too highly of each other. And that's why, like I said, Larry, Tally needed a Larry, because
Right.
nobody was going to hold up to her and say, hey, you should, I know you like to think that your shit don't stink, but
Yeah. Yeah.
roses really do. They don't, but he like, but like they needed, like, because they
Yeah.
helped, they needed some grounding in the, we're doing so great, our parents suck, like we had,
Mhm.
it's like,
Well, the thing is, if I was gonna go in that direction, I just didn't think it was fair to not have to really give it the time
because
to flesh out.
that would have been a whole nother book,
Yeah,
like
that was like, going into a book for but it was there. I toyed with the idea, and for multiple reasons, not just for the wake up call to them, but also to show um Tali and Vin how young they were, right, when they had
making
Dolly.
these decisions.
And also for Vin, I think that I'm not gonna say he pressured Tali, but when she got pregnant, it was like he saw nothing wrong with them
Oh,
having this baby.
they don't care until it's their daughters. They don't
Right.
care. That is one of my biggest issue with men in general. They don't
Exactly.
care until it's their,
Right.
and like I've
Right.
actually had to ask men, like in my attempts at dating, if your daughter came in and said that a man said this to her, what would your advice be?
Right. Right.
And it's always two steps back after that. But if your daughter came to you and said that a man told her this, and would you tell her to go for it? Would you tell her to? And it's always the ones with daughters. That's what be pissing me off.
Well, that's what ends up happening. It is what happens.
Men do not respect women until it's their daughters.
Yeah.
At
But I
at a
think
large part.
Yeah, I think that was important though, where I worked it into the scene with her at school, just to kind of show where Tali makes that statement, like, you and Munch never did no wild stuff, with no girls, and you go back to like the first book, I believe, and you see the way he treated Sharonda, you see the way he dealt with Sophie, and even when Sharonda's dealing with her and another girl, and like and to just put him back in that mind frame of like the,
Baby,
these are
when
all
Tally
somebody's daughters.
when Tally was in that principal office begging, when I tell you, she said, let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. Don't repeat none of that. Don't repeat none of that. She said, look, baby, you're gonna have to call the US guard, the police, the federal. Don't repeat. He will blow up the entire school. Don't say none of that. When I tell you I was sliding down the couch, like that girl said, I got to put my feelings aside because this is a true lunatic, ma'am. For my safety, your safety, them children's safety, for the school safety. Don't say none of
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
Just say a little incident happened. If you
Hmm.
say any of the things you just said to me, I'm gonna die.
Yes.
I'm going to die.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. That was some true comedic. But then for her to turn around, and then that was the same day she really was being a bitch to him. I ain't like that either. But
Well, you have to understand. So she had just gotten that, gift from Sophie, so
with
she was in a very vulnerable state.
all right, I'm gonna flip these questions, and I know we're past time, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But
I'm done though. Yeah.
I'm gonna flip these questions how I have them written.
Okay.
Okay, is there any sympathy for Sophie?
No,
Your
I
mind.
think
Sip
I
your
think I think my sympathy, and I have never done this, probably not that I could think of, with a character. I have sympathy for charisma. I had sympathy for a lot of the other women. Um, Once she let what happened to DJ happen again after he told her, then I had no more sympathy for her.
Again, parents not loving their children unconditionally, even though they say they do. You don't love your child unconditionally and allow somebody who's a predator into their life.
Right.
And I understand, again, Sophie had her own issues. She turned to drugs, her life was ruined. She had a lot of her own demons, but your children are yours to protect.
Right.
So, okay. But talking about, the parallels, Sophie, even in death, Sophie was kicking up dust. It definitely was like when Takerra said the book finna end how it started. I was like, girl, now Sophie then went from going to the job to now she in your house. Like,
she don't die.
I said, now Sophie had an expose, a post-death expose. She
Mm-hmm.
said, I've been collecting data for 12 years. You hold my drink. She said, you think this man is perfect? I'm going to knock the... So I still struggle with not having sympathy for Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
Because she turned into a monster. You could have, you let this situation define you.
Right.
And you really didn't have to.
Right.
But it's just so hard as somebody who has experienced being brokenhearted and feeling completely discarded.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where my sympathy comes from. Like, this really came out of left field for you.
Right.
But a part of it, it's like how we talked about Bianca. If you would have caught feelings and got caught up and been trying to fight Tally, girl, this would have been on you.
Right. I agree.
Sophie, you should have left left alone after that first baby. I get it. Your feelings was hurt, and I understand why you didn't leave well enough alone. But it's like when with that famous quote, I don't know who said it. Don't let anybody tell you they don't want you twice.
Right. Agreed.
And you kept letting this man
Yeah.
verbally and in action tell you he does not want
Right.
you.
But I know a few Sophies, right? And I feel like, and they're actually very similar to Drew's. There are certain type of people who feel that they check all of the boxes, and it is very hard for them to um accept not being
Chosen.
um yeah, like wanted or desired by somebody when they check all of the boxes, not understanding that some people have different criteria for who they fall in love with, and it doesn't have to do with just physical or having money or having a good job or having a nice body, or so those people really struggle. I've seen them, the one person that doesn't want them, it becomes such an obsession
Yeah.
with, you know why not, like, I have to get this person because this defines who I am. So
And then trying to tell Drew, like, this not even about Tally no more, bro. This
I
this is not even about Tally anymore. You don't even
like,
know her. This is about you. And when I was really trying to have sympathy for Drew. I'm an empath. I be trying to have
me
sympathy
too.
for everybody. I was trying to have empathy for Drew, but when he forgave her after that whole, I said, you know what, you're just an idiot because you, her daddy don't like you,
Yeah.
her kids don't like you, her friends barely tolerate you. So you're just sticking around to be mistreated. And as a grown adult man, it's only but so much I'm allowing people to mistreat me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a man. I'm sorry. As a grown adult person, individual,
No.
some days I be feeling like a little boy.
Right.
But I'm a girl. I'm a lady.
But right,
But,
like,
but
so, like,
let's be on the point. Is how much were you willing to tolerate to be in this person's life when you one already admitted yourself you did not give her enough post divorce clarity to choose you.
Mm-hmm.
You said, oh, I see it in. I see this wound. I'm gonna go in as I'm the antibiotics. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
in and try to
Yeah.
force this person to heal. So, but it's like you didn't even give. She said, "Let's be friends." You weren't. You didn't try to be her friend.
No. Well, because I think going back to what we said, right? It was about Tally, but it wasn't, right? He's the good guy. He has a good job. He has business. He's successful. He's good looking, and a long time ago, this thug that was in prison and who Drew feel has nothing going for him, beat him up in front of a girl that he liked. And now, I'm gonna
It was.
win.
It
I'm gonna
was
win.
Drew believing that he could beat Vin up now, and then when Vin choked him, I was just like, Jesus, why
Yeah,
do you
that was,
think you could fight this? Like, please,
yeah,
just let it go, baby. You have to choose your battles wisely, and you're not a
yeah.
smart man.
And Tally was trying to tell him, she's like, "You want to fight, Ben? Like what?" But
Yeah, I was
um,
like, baby, let it go, please. This
yeah.
is what I was still trying to give him a half a leg to stand on. But like, just let this part go. Let this
But you
part
see,
go.
right? You see the mask come off from Drew a couple of times. And I hope people paid attention to those little moments where you see kind of the true Drew peek out, right? Like he throws the donuts, right? He gets like, and he
That was
says
so. That's literally the point I was gonna. When he threw them donuts, I was like, who, who in my house?
right.
I'm one of them people. I'm one of them real weird people. Like, even when people call my phone, I will hang up because on my phone, you
Right.
you thought you was gonna throw something in my house, baby.
So
Let me say something to you. Let me say that's probably why I'm single because you thought you was gonna talk to me like that on my phone. You've lost your rabbit mind. Like,
Dee Dee got so sick of me because every time I would read that part, I would call her laugh. Like I'm like, I
you
can't
know,
believe I wrote this, but I
you
just
know
thought
who
it was
saw
so
you know who saw
funny.
you know who saw through Drew? Dolly.
Oh, absolutely.
Dolly is.
Mhm.
I think Dolly is my favorite supporting character in P3. I don't care about the attitude. Wait, listen, when Dolly was like, "Cause I couldn't sleep last night, cause Dad and be," I said, "Oh, this little heifer is this little heifer." She said, what, Tally Celine, I got something for you. You know what, Tally Celine?
You want to take my lip liner? I got you.
I got something for you. You thought you were gonna hurt my feelings? She said, let's see who can do it better. Let's see who can hurt who feelings better. She was like, I'm just irritated. And the way she did it, I'm just irritated because I couldn't sleep all weekend because Dad and Bianca, I don't know why you left him, Mom. Excuse me? I said, ooh, girlfriend. She said, y'all want to ruin my morning? I'm gonna ruin your week.
Hmm.
Congratulations, Tally. Congratulations. I said, oh, I like this one
She
spicy.
is spicy. I warned. I tried to warn people. She was gonna
Usually
be
it's that
spicy.
last or that middle kid, but
Hmm. No.
that little girl was spicy. I like a spicy mommy. And she said, if you touch me, I'm gonna call my dad. I said, ooh, I love it. I love a spicy mommy. I love it, and I love a daddy's girl. And if you touch me, I'm gonna call my dad. See, Tally ain't touch her. You see, Tally ain't touch. I'm gonna call my dad. You can't call your dad on me. She said, I know who paid the bill. I know who paid the bills in all these houses, ma'am. Tally, you got that little job. She said you don't even like that job. Only
Mm-mm.
reason you won't quit is because you're trying to prove something to my dad. Said,
Mm.
oh Lord. I said
Yes,
she's reading everybody for filth in this
she
book.
was. She
I said,
was.
"Whoa,
She
Tally,
was.
Tally, be careful with that one. That one, she plays slow, but that one is up on it." She
Oh
said,
no.
"Mm." She said,
Mm-mm.
y'all think I'm just a suburban girl that got everything at the tip of my finger. She said, I have peeped everything.
Oh
And
yeah.
I actually liked her character. I know people like, oh, she was too grown and
Oh gosh, yes, I've heard it so much.
she was too grown.
um,
I personally liked her character. I like spicy black girls, and I'm gonna tell you why. We do not get safe spaces to be spicy. We don't get safe spaces to be our whole selves. So the least we can do is be it at home. Okay.
Agreed. I try to check myself all the time with my daughter. Sometimes I'm like, but then I'm like, you know what? I want her to keep the fire because she's gonna need it in this world.
You do, because
Mhm.
you compromise as a black woman so much.
Mhm.
You compromise to the point of you don't even know how to be yourself. You don't feel safe in
Right.
yourself. You gotta compromise at work, compromise with men, compromise with your family. Like, you just compromise, and it literally will compromise all of that up out of you. Do I think that there are certain uses for it and you should be, as a parent? I'm not a parent yet. There are ways to redirect it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mhm.
But just taking it out of them because black girls are too grown and black girls are this and that and the third. And no, we have to stop doing that. So
Yeah.
I really appreciated Dolly's character. Taryn was comedic. Taryn had the comedic part down where she just was repeating stuff and didn't know what she was talking about. I love that she gets to stay the baby. She deserves it. Taryn needed to be the last child.
Yeah.
Taryn needed to be the last child. She just did.
Yeah.
And the boys, their bond so quick. And I love that that relationship with them, with his sons, that he was able to reassure both of them
Yes.
in their own ways of, y'all are both my sons. I love both of you. Neither one of you did anything wrong. Neither,
Mhm.
like, I just thought that that was beautiful. Even though then DJ wasn't autistic, it never changed how he interacted with his brother. It never changed. I love that you left in there, because I'm sure it probably was such a small detail that could have been scrapped, that they would, even when Milo was at Tally's house, that they would still stay up and be on the phone all the time or play the game together. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was great. That was,
Yeah.
no, he has a relationship. He's texting Dolly. He's talking to Taryn. Like, he's still keeping up with his siblings. I think
Right.
he did that, and I think that it helped Tally to see that we can have an integrated family. Now, if Sophie was still alive, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that I actually think that the news of him having this child would have hit harder if Sophie was still alive. Like, Sophie had to die. I hate when you kill characters, but I think this is the first time I actually
No.
agree with who had to die.
Yes. Absolutely. This was such a heavy thing that I knew I was gonna have to challenge myself.
You thought about Sophie dying, huh?
Yeah, I knew it. I said there's no way that this woman can still be alive and I can make this forgivable. If I could try my hardest. But I knew it would be much better if I could get rid of her.
But my nephew and little cousin Tammy had to die.
So sometimes there has to be a sacrifice.
This is one of the only sacrifices I will agree with on you, that
Yes.
she had to go.
Yeah.
She had to go.
She had to go.
Um,
Lola had to go, unfortunately.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think I just wanted to show
because that, again, showing Vin in that loneliness and that
right. He was lonely and also Lola hadn't completely stopped her lifestyle, right? So
she was
realistically,
trying,
she
but
was trying, but I feel like so often in art it doesn't depict the real life of the people that
struggle.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
just
And
Mhm.
again, another instant of not loving her child unconditionally. She loved Vin's dad more than she loved him,
True.
because that's what led her down this path.
Right. Right.
When,
She couldn't stay who she was for Vin. She
no, because
was broken by the dad. Yes.
by the dad. And it's
Hmm.
like, and then again, I'm just keep trying to bring this point home, is because people keep bringing, I don't like, people always say there's never a perfect time to have a child. And that's like, I don't believe there is. And I think that,
Yeah.
the same way I don't believe in being all the way healed if you're not ever in a romantic relationship, because it's fine when nobody is touching you. But when you don't know if you're going to be triggered until you care. That's how it works.
You want to know what I honestly think? I don't think there's a such thing as all the way healed. I don't think it exists.
Oh,
I think that it's very much
the billion
um
the $1 billion self-help industry.
right. Right. Oh God, do not kill me.
the,
But
the $1 billion self-help industry would like to have a word with you.
they definitely will. It is what keeps me writing. It is what keeps people there is no end post. There's no ceiling. There's no it's just not. You can just keep trying to heal parts of yourself. But I
Yeah.
do not think that you are ever going to erase. I don't even think you should. I don't know if you should erase damage. Because it makes you who you are in a way. I just have a different view of it. But I do agree with, therapy and things that help you navigate life. Things that help you let go of trauma and not hold on to your past as much. I do agree with ways to help you navigate what you've been through. But I don't necessarily believe that there's
You
gonna be some
overcome
moment where you're gonna be like
finally.
float and be like, oh, I'm all healed. Like, no, I don't think so.
Well, we've come to the conclusion. I have so many other points that I could make, but in
We've
the
come to the conclusion. I am so sad. I did not can I say I did not expect to be this sad about leaving parachutes behind. But I am very sad.
yes, we've come to the conclusion of parachutes and my questions. Not because I couldn't talk about this for another hour, but we had a hard hour stop because I'll see you next weekend, and I'll
Yes.
always be able to kiki with you. But other people need to ask questions, and um, there's so many small things that even I feel like the house catching on fire and burning down was just so significant. Of if we're going to ever do this, we have to burn it all down and start all over. And it was sad, but it had to happen. The house was a sacrifice.
Yes, absolutely.
The house
Absolutely.
was a sacrifice. And I also think, just coming from P1 to P3 and knowing, then bought that house with very specific ideas and ideals. It was just, you know, very artsy.
Mm.
Very artsy. It's just so many things. Abby having a heart attack, like just so many things. If anybody though, if anybody, anybody in this book were to get a spinoff,
Oh, I'm
it was
curious.
that dang niece. She got a story to tell.
Akimi?
Yes, she got a story to tell. She actually, her and Aaliyah need to, but it would be me
Probably.
if I didn't thank you. I don't care however many people feel like you did it for them. I know it was for me.
Of course. What did I do?
That small preview of Dice and Aaliyah by way of Hawney, by way of Jonathan.
Why
You're
does
never,
everybody think that's Dice?
because ain't nobody else that damn fine. It's a lot of fine men in the world. A lot of fine men in the world. A lot of fine men in the world. But
Yeah.
ain't a lot of men that fine with that much
Charisma. Yeah.
charisma. That just,
Yeah.
I hate when people post visuals of who they think Dice is, because I'd be like, no, no.
Dice is Dice. It's
Even if the person is handsome, they just don't have that, like,
je ne sais quoi. Yeah.
like Dice is Dice. Like, just let Dice be Dice. Like, I've seen some authors say I would never put a visual for this specific character because it just that's how Dice is for me. Like I don't want to see any more visuals. I don't. You are the visuals, baby. Don't bring me no more visuals. Dice is Dice.
Absolutely. I agree.
But that was just, like, you're never gonna get away from people wanting that story though. Like,
No,
are you still surprised how many people want that story?
I am, especially with so many people that acted like they really hated him. Um, I know it's a whole nother conversation. I don't want to get
That's
you
a whole
started.
other conversation. Just remember who always just remember who always wanted to be a Dice Jones production baby,
I
okay?
know. I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt for you.
I want to be like a Dice Jones production, okay? I would. I don't want to be the fight. I want to be the production,
I
okay?
I know.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
another. Oh, just another remarkable piece of art that you share. It's been 3 years. Like, don't disappear for another 3 years. That's not what I'm saying. Don't do that. You're good for doing some shit like that too. Like, oh, I gave y'all Act 3, and now I'm riding up to the sunset. Take your time, relish in this moment. You do deserve like everything that like I've been thought you deserved all of the accolades and all of the flowers that you're receiving. I've had Seasons of Fidelity put you out there, but if I feel like Parachutes has just like Parachutes is larger than life.
I, you know what? I guess because I have so much. I keep myself very focused on just topping
Doing the
myself
work.
and learning and staying a student. Um, but it is growing. There's more, obviously I want to accomplish. I hope that people understand, like you said, I have been doing this a long time. It's not, I see some people have reached out and said things, and they mean well. But this was not an overnight success thing for me. This was not, just a hot thing. I've been doing this since 2009, and I hope that other authors can see that, use that as, sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off, and if you love it enough and you just keep going, um that is what should fuel you, because you can't survive in this industry and have longevity if you don't love it, because you're never going to always be hot, or you're some people do get it right away, but for the most part, you have to be consistent. You have to work at it. You have to love the craft. You have to, really, really invest in yourself, and just appreciate it, and respect it. I think that that's the thing. You got to respect the art. Um, and I do. So,
Well,
thank you. I appreciate that so much.
we thank you for sharing yourself with us, for the sacrifices you made to do so. And I hate to say it, but
What you
on
hate
to
to
the
say?
on to the next. I really don't want to leave Tally and Vin behind.
I don't
Like
either. And then I
it,
always have this feeling of what next. I mean, I know what is coming. I just,
it's still so much material
yeah,
that could come from just this couple, like, and not just from the future, but like there's still so many lessons and so many things and so many small nuances that could be worked out within just this example of love.
yeah.
But you did it
But I,
justice.
yeah, I
You
like.
did it justice.
I got the feeling. I know when. I think I know when to call it quits. I think I know when to leave something on a high note. You know.
You did it justice, and it definitely, I think, was one of those pieces where it was like, now this gave some perspective. This gave some perspective.
I hope so. Thank you.
It made
Thank you.
me want to stop being such a hard rock. I'm a hard rock. I'm a Tally girl. I'm a hard rock. Mm.
I think a lot of us are. You know what I mean?
But you have to be. And I want you to listen to this. I just listened to Eve did an interview with Angie Martinez,
Mm-hmm.
and they talk about why. They just say that they talk about, protection. Like you're left unprotected in this world. So you
Mm,
start putting on armor. But what happens when it's time to take the armor off?
mm. Oh, that sounds
How
interesting.
do you know when it's time to take the armor off? How do you, like, when you start feeling safe? And Eve says, in her relationship with her husband, at some point she was like, do I even need this anymore?
Mm,
And I think we all want to get to that point.
mm-hmm,
Do I even need this anymore?
mm-hmm.
It's not useful anymore.
Right.
And I think that's the part, is that we want to be in our relationships, and not just romantically, but our friendships and our kinships, where it's like, I don't need armor, and I don't need armor here. It's not useful here.
It's as a whole nother conversation for me
Yeah.
because I feel like I have reached that point, but only because of the point I reached with myself.
She says that too. She did the work. She
Right.
did the work. She's like, everybody thinks my husband came in. She's like, but he helps me do the work.
Right.
And I think you do need people in your life to help you do the work, whether that's a
Yes.
therapist, a friend. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but you do need somebody to help you do the work sometimes.
Yeah. I think you have to reach a certain point in yourself where it, I don't want to say it doesn't matter what other people do, but it is just going to have a very different effect on me than the person I was a long time ago.
Hmm.
The way that someone could hurt me, or it just
That makes me want to ask a question. Are you reading reviews?
what, I usually do the first like couple of days. I haven't read them lately, but I
Okay.
probably will because I do want to go. I want to make like something to, like some promo with them. But I did read a couple the first days.
You saying something that hurt you, because I remember in the past we talked about reviews. I'm like, I wonder if she ever stopped reading the reviews, or not reading, but like stopped taking stock in those reviews.
Yeah, that definitely, thank God, has changed with the way that affects me. And I don't want to sound arrogant, or like that. I appreciate reviews, and I appreciate everybody's honesty, but I've definitely reached a point in my artistry where I trust what I've produced. I trust how much I put into it, and I mean, that's one thing. I'm humble, but I am going to be very honest about how much I put into it. I write and I
You do the work.
rewrite and I
You do the
rewrite
work.
and I rewrite. And so it's like once I get to that point where it's coming out after a year of working on it, I'm confident that I've given my all and my best. So very little can be said that'll make me feel differently about it. So
Period.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Well, thank you again. And I
Thank
can't wait to see
you.
you next weekend. I can't
I
wait to
can't
get
wait to see you. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. You
you.
should see. You should see. Well, my living room, but you should really see Dee Dee's living room. She has
Oh,
twice as much. Oh my god!
I'm
But
so
I'm lucky. I'm
excited.
blessed.
I am so excited to see you, and I'm so excited. I am selfish with you, but I am excited to share you next weekend,
Oh, thank
because
you.
I know that everybody does not get to speak to you in the way that I do. So I'm excited for people to see Takerra shine next
Oh
weekend.
man, thank you so much. I can't wait to see everybody. It's gonna be a great time.
It's going to be a great time. So let me end the
I don't know if your
recording.
girl coming, but we might.
Don't do her. Don't do her. Let me end the recording. Don't do her. Okay.